Alright, Shalom, brothers. It's the brother Ibadia in the Middle East in England. Right, out here again through the spirit Yahweh, Yahushai. Right, for the grace and mercy of Yahweh, Yahushai pushing this truth. And, we get into some scriptures. First and foremost, honest to you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity, and double honest to the elders, the JMS. Right? We're going to get straight into it. We're going to be in Ezekiel the 33rd and the 1st today. Right. So without further ado, this is Ezekiel 33 and... Right, this is Ezekiel 33 and 1. It says, again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of my of that people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, right? Now, like I do every week, or like I try to do every week, I ain't got no brothers out here to be stopping and saying, breaking it down. I'm gonna basically read down the chapter and get to a particular word or a particular point that I feel either is going to be made, or that the point I'm trying to drive home, and I'll stop at that word and break it down. So right here the Most High is basically talking about a situation where he's going to bring judgment upon Israel, right? Now that judgment, we know is basically he said he's going to bring the sword. Now we know the sword is vindicative of judgment, right? And we're going to look at that at the moment. Now this is 2nd Ezra, the 15th and the 5th. It says, 2nd Ezra 15 and 5, it says, behold, thus saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, right? So the Most High is basically saying he's going to bring plagues upon the world. Now how is he going to bring plagues, and what does he call those plagues? It says, the sword, right? Death, famine, and destruction, right? Now that's basically what the sword is. The sword is death, famine, and destruction. Now those things only occur in a situation where the Most High is going to execute judgment upon the earth, right? For instance, when the Most High brought all of those plagues upon Egypt, right? When the Most High brought those plagues upon Babylon, those are all cities and Sodom and Gomorrah and so on and so forth. Just like the Most High is going to bring judgment upon this kingdom, where with the Most High has put it in the spirit of them Russians and those Middle Eastern countries to be getting into their nuclear warfare and so on and so forth, and heavily investing in those nuclear warfare, right? So we're going to have a situation where the Most High is basically just going to put it in their spirit, and when you're gonna get all hell's gonna break loose here. And really, that's what 2nd Ezra 15 and the 5th is really talking about. Really talking about the Most High setting up the final act. The final hurrah for this king, right? Where with death, famine, and distraction is gonna come about. Now this is Psalm 17 and 13, which is more associated with the point I was going to bring up, what I'm bringing out. Now this is Psalms 17 and 13. And it says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Right? So here King David, who I believe was a psalmist in this particular instance, he's basically saying, deliver me from the wicked. And the same thing goes for us as brothers. When we be out here in the face of this, not just Dakota, this is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Right, it's Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. Right? We come out here standing in great boldness through the spirit, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because the Lord said he's going to put his spirit upon his men, right? And he says to stand in great boldness before the face of them, before the face of such as afflicted him, and made no account of his labors, right? So we out here pushing this truth, right, through the spirit, Yahweh Yahushai, right? And we're basically standing in the Most High's sword, right? Because the Most High used Esau, right, which is a so-called white man, basically to bring down Israel, right? With Israel being Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, right, North American Indians, right? Most of you Italians, Sicilians, and all Israel basically scattered across the four corners of the earth. Because I mean, we're a fruitful people, right? We get into all kind of women. So further down the line, you're gonna have children of Israel that are gonna look like so-called Moabites, so-called Elamites, so-called Edomites, right? That's where we get into the parable of the tares, where with the Mosai said they was basically two seeds, basically brought up in one, which is really talking about Rebecca when you get into the story, right? Where if you had Jacob and Israel, and they intermingled at some point, so you're gonna have certain Edomites that are gonna look like Israelites, right? Now, just to further on this side note, it says, when they see it, they shall be amazed with terrible fear, and they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond what they look for. Now, that strangeness of that salvation, like I said, it's just a side note, kind of side note enough that the main point I'm trying to drive home. That amazement is going to be them spaceships, man, those UFOs, which are really IFOs because they're chariots. We know what they are, so they are identified. Right, those are chariots of the Most High. Right. Another point is that at a precept where with I believe it was Paul, he basically said, you know, two people is going to be in the field and one's going to be taken up. Taken up by what? And taken up where? Right? You see on these on Esau's films, that's what we say Esau really ain't creative, because all of the stories, all of the so-called good films of this planet, right? Those are all real stories or real accounts of stuff that's going to happen in the future or stuff that's happened in the past, right? That's why Esau really puts a film out like you know, all of these films, 2012 and so on and so forth, and certain films where you have UFOs and like Judgment Day and all those kind of things, right? But the only difference is when it actually just gonna happen, man, you ain't gonna be prosperous against the chariots of the Most High. Don't you know that one angel can destroy this whole planet, right? So when the Most High sends his chariots to basically to lift up his men, his elect men, which I pray for you, how shall I be a part of, right? That's when he's gonna execute that judgment, which is the sword, right? Which is, you know, goes back to 2nd Ezra, the 15th and the 5th, where the Most High said he's gonna bring death, famine, and destruction. Destruction taking place in the nuclear missiles. The angels are gonna have a peace, and the Lord also said Israel is his battle axe, his weapon of warfare. Before we get taken up, Lord willing, like I said, I'll be part of that. But before the men of the Most High are taken up, they're gonna be executing some of that judgment too, right? Where the Most High said he's gonna change them in the twinkling of an eye. He's gonna make a man more precious than fine gold, which is kind of a side note. But we also see the Most High said he's gonna put the new heart, and he's gonna put a new body upon them celestial bodies upon his elect men. Where if you might jump, you know, you might jump over a building, or you might just blast off and fly away. Like I said, Esau ain't creative. All of these superhero films is pertaining to Israel, because like the Most High said, the least in Israel is gonna be like King David. And King David said they said King David slew men by the tens of thousands, right? So imagine how mighty a man of Israel is gonna be in that day. He's gonna be a mighty man, right? And more so than that, imagine how the mighty men in Israel is gonna be in that day. Right, so the greater men, you know, whoever they're gonna be in that day, whoever the Most High raises up to be the greatest, even to the least, right? Israel's gonna be Israel's gonna be a battle axe of the Most High. We're gonna execute judgment, right, upon the heathen, like it says in the I forgot the scriptures slipping me, where it basically says the Most High basically says he's gonna execute judgment upon the heathen, right, using Israel. Right, Israel, like I said all the time, it's Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, North American Indians, right? West Indians, right? Those are the people of the Most High. Yeah, what's happening? You good? Yeah, right. Like it says in Deuteronomy 7:6, right? Israel is a flavorsome people, right? And also says hey, you gotta go precept upon precept. So if Deuteronomy 7:6 says Israel is a people above all people, holy unto himself, right? Like the salt of the earth. And another precept says Jacob is the former of all things. You put two and two together, man. When we bring something out and it's flavorsome, we're the beginning, we're the former of it, in a sense that everyone else on the planet follows that particular trend. If I wear my cap backwards, everyone at Esau wants to wear his cap backwards. Right? The Moabites want to wear their cap backwards. The Edomites want to wear their cap backwards. Because naturally we're the top of the food chain. Right? So whatever the lion does, all of the beasts underneath the lion do also. Right? They follow the trend. More so than that, when we do wickedly, right? The rest of the planet does wickedly. So we're in our lowest state right now, where Jacob doesn't even know the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Look at the whole world in turmoil. Right? More so than that, when the Most High raises up Israel to be his heirs on this planet, right? He's to be what's the word I'm looking for? Joint heirs with Yahushua, right? That's when the world is going to be really in order. Cause like it also says, like when the righteous are in rulership, right? The people rejoice. Well, how are the people rejoicing? Because they're eating right through the dietary laws of the law, statutes, commandments, all right, and they're conducting themselves in accordance to the law, statutes, and commandments. And the law, statutes, and commandments say if you conduct yourself within the laws, right, then you're gonna prosper. All right. Now this is Deuteronomy 28 and 58. It says, if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of the law that are written in this book, right? This is an order that Moses gave out to the children of Israel. Basically, when he gave out the laws, and he was basically taking the covenant, with the first covenant, which was a more or less an oral covenant, right? And it says, that thou mayest fear the glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy power, then the Lord will bring thy plagues wonderful, and plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness. Right? So we get all of these long plagues. For instance, on the olden times, you might have just got sick for maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of days. Right, but this is referring to those long illnesses, right, that are upon our people. So our people got diabetes, we've got cancers, and so on and so forth. Those are the curses of the Most High that He put upon us for going off on the law, statutes, and commandments. Right. More so than that, we're gonna jump to 64, and then I'm gonna jump to 68. All right. So this is 64. It says, "The Lord shall scatter thee among all people." Right. Just like I was saying, all Israel is dispersed amongst all the heathen. You're gonna have straight up Israelites. You're gonna have flavor. You're gonna be like pertaining to how pertaining to scriptures in reference to how Israel's gonna behave. So we're gonna be flavorsome, right? We're gonna be performer of things. So we're gonna be real creative, right? You're gonna have Moabites that have those tender. You're gonna have people that look like Moabites, which is the so-called Chinese. You're gonna have those tendencies. That means to say those are the descendants of Israel, but more so than that, right? You really find out who Israel is in the way they are in this society. So, for instance, the curses say Israel is going to be the first. Just to roughly paraphrase, Israel is going to be the first, last higher than the first fire, right? So that means to say, man, when you see certain sections. Of different societies catching hell, for instance, you have the so-called untouchables in India, right? Those are most likely to be Jakes, right? Because those are the lowest people in that particular group, and they're not considered a part of that whole Elamite society, right? Because they're Israelites, and you see also in West Africa where certain Northern Africans, which are Hamites, right, discriminate the so-called West Africans, right? Because those are those are Israelites, right? Which all goes back to the curses that the Most High put upon Israel, right? And some of those curses are His sword, which is the point I was basically making out here, right? And then we're gonna jump to 64. So He said, "From one end of the earth even unto the other, they shall serve other gods, which neither thy father nor thy which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, Now this is 68, and it says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, the land of Egypt was always known as Mizraim, following the descendants of Ham, who was the principal ruler of that land. Right now, when the Egyptians, when the Greeks came about, they called that land Egypt. Why? Because it was a place of bondage. Why? Because the people of Israel was put in slavery there. That's why it's known as Egypt. Egypt is a word synonymous with slavery. So when the Most High said he's going to bring you back into slavery, or rather more, he's going to bring you back to Egypt, he's referring to putting Israel back in bondage, right? And it says, he's going to bring you back, I'll bring thee back into Egypt again with ships. By way I spake up unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and thou shalt be sold unto your enemies and bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy you. Basically, no man's going to save you, right? Not only happened to one group of people in all of history, wherewith a group of people was taken by cargo slave ship and sold unto another group of people, right, for bondmen and bondwomen, in essence, slavery by way of cargo slave ship. That's talking about the so-called Negroes, which are the tribe of Judah, right? Like the elders have broken down before me, right? That's the tribe of Judah. That's the head tribe, right? And when judgment is brought upon, when judgment was brought, when basically the Most High put that judgment upon Israel, right? He put the hardest hardcore slave, the hardest hardcore judgment went on the head tribe, right? Which was Judah, right? Which is the so-called Negroes who went into slavery by way of cargo slaves, right? Now this is right. This is Isaiah 69. Isaiah 69 says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, right? See ye indeed and perceive not, right? So, I mean, we bring this truth out, but you people, you don't be seeing this, you don't be seeing it. You say you hear it, but you're not really hearing this truth, right? We tell you you're the people of the Most High, and the proof that we have is in the scriptures where we say the Most High basically put the so-called Negroes, which is the tribe of Judah, into slavery by way of cargo slaves. It proving you're the people of the Most High, right? But you hear it, and you don't perceive it, right? And says, make the heart of this people fat, right? Make the mind of this people fat, right? And make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed, right? So the Most High basically saying, what, right? Basically, a group or section of Israel is not going to get this truth because it wasn't made for them to get this truth on a deeper sense, right? Now this is Ezekiel 9 and 4. Then we're going to jump back into Ezekiel the 33rd. Alright, this is Ezekiel 9 and 4, and it says, the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, right? Through the midst of our people, right? So we're supposed to be in the chief places of concourse where Jake or Israel is most likely to be, right? And he said, set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of them, right? So we're supposed to be out here pushing this truth, right? Telling you are the people of the Most High, right? You're gonna turn away from your wickedness, right? So you can receive the blessings of this truth, right? And that's what we're supposed to be doing out here. It says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have you pity. Right? So certain ones of you that ain't gonna get it, the Most High is gonna put out the judgment that you're gonna get slain. right? Now this is back in Ezekiel the 33rd. We're about the this is Ezekiel 33:2, and it says, "Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon you," right? Like I was saying before, man. So we had particular judgments that the Most High are put in place, where with all of Israel's got these curses upon us, which I was going into before, right? Now the Most High's got us, right, going through the midst of the city, right, telling all of the people of Israel, Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, West Indians, all right, and all of Israel is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But if you got zeal for the Most High and you got the flavor in your step, right, then you're probably an Israelite, right? So we come out here, week in, week out, trying to set a mark upon the face, set a mark upon the face of the men that sigh and cry for the abominations that be done thereof. Now, what governs what's an abomination? It's the scriptures. The scriptures tell you what's right and what's wrong. The scriptures tell you that two men ain't supposed to lie together in a bed. The scriptures tell you that a man, you ain't supposed to be eating pork, for instance, right? So all the men that sigh and cry, those are probably the elect of the Most High. And to the rest of them, really, the Most High has blinded them. That's why I brought out Isaiah 6 and 9, because you ain't sighing, you ain't crying. So the Most High has basically made your mind fat, so you can't perceive this truth. You can't see this light, as it were. All right. He's saying, when I bring the judgment upon the land, if the people of that land take a man of their coasts and set him for their watchmen. Now we're gonna touch on this word watchman for a small instance. And this is Isaiah 62:6. Isaiah 62:6. Right, it says, "I have set up watchmen upon thy walls," right, which is all the brothers throughout the four corners, pushing this truth in sincerity and telling you people, you gotta get out your wickedness, right? You gotta turn away, like roughly Proverbs, turn ye at my reproach. Right, turn from your wickedness at our reproach. We're telling you that you're the people of the Most High. That's one thing to be glad in. And we're also telling you, if you follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, there's going to come a period in time where you're going to prosper. Right, where the Most High is going to bless you. Right, but for the time being, you just got to catch this hell. You're going to endure to the end, like we're going to bring out a little bit later on. Right? It says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls of Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day or night. So when you go, we don't hold our peace day or night, because when you go on your computer, always new videos is popping up, right? All the brothers in the different coasts or in the different lands, in the different continents, pushing this truth in sincerity. And it says, ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silent, right? Right, okay, that's pretty much it. So, we ain't resting, right? And those are we're the watchmen, because we're the ones that go through these scriptures, and go through the news, filtering out the truth, and we come out here telling you, you got to turn away from your wickedness, otherwise the Most High is going to destroy you, right? What's one of those principal things that the watchman is really looking at and seeing right now is the development of the situation that's happening with Iran and America, right? But certain ones of you ain't gonna get that. Certain ones of you, the Most High is blinded from that. That's why the Most High said He's basically make this people, the mind of these people fat, so they don't understand. They don't understand it. So when you hear it, it just goes through one ear, goes out the other ear, right? It says, this is back in Ezekiel the 33rd, and 3, and it says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Right? Now this is touching on the word trumpet. Isaiah 58:1. It says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. So the prophets, that be coming out here week in, week out, right? They're crying aloud, right? Crying aloud and spare it not. Right? We come out here in the boldness of Yahweh's sight, in the boldness of this truth. Knowing that we could die any day, or also knowing that the Most High could raise us up any day, right? And staying focused in this truth, right? Bringing out this truth, right? And it says, and show my people their transgression, right? You come out here showing you people all your transgressions. Some of you is going to see that, right? Most of you ain't going to see that, because the Most High is only dealing with elect. Elect being a small group of people that he's chosen from amongst all of Israel, right? But he's really chosen for the foundations of the earth. Those people is always going to be the elect, right? And show my people their transgression, and the house of Israel their sins, right? And it says, and whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, this is back in Ezekiel the 33rd, and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head, right? So when we come out here, right, telling you people you gotta get right, right, telling you people the children of Israel is gonna stay away from all of that madness, right? Paraphrasing the Lord, you gotta observe the 613 laws of the Most High, and you don't do it. When the missiles come, it's gonna be upon your own head, right? And it says, and he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon his own, shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. Sorry. It says, but if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, right? The sword, like I said before, is the judgment of the Most High, right? And at the moment, the sword is a so-called watchman, basically executing the judgment of the Most High, right, upon the children of Israel. And it says, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned. If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require of the watchman's hands. So if we had a case where we didn't come out here pushing this truth, right, but we knew this truth, right, and you people were not warned, right, even though you was all up into your wickedness, right, your blood would have been required of our hands, right? But we, that's why you brothers, if you got this truth, you're gonna be out here in the midst of these people pushing this truth. He says, so thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the words at my mouth, and warn them from me. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require of thine hands. So, when the Most High, basically, you see in the scriptures that, the wages of sin is death. So all of our people are all encompassed in sin. And we don't say that the Most High is going to require their blood off of our hands. It says, and nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his ways to turn from it, if he do not turn from his ways, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou shalt deliver thy soul. So when we come out, and like it says in the scriptures, certain ones ain't gonna get it, right, via the election of the Most High, right? If that person, hears the truth, by the works of the Most High through us, right, and they don't hinder to the word of the Most High through that, right? Then that blood is off our hands, and that person is gonna die in their own iniquity. It says, Therefore, Son of Man, speak unto Israel. Thus ye speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away in them, how then shall we live? And he says, say unto them, as I live, saith the Lord power, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but the wicked shall, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Right, so the Most High delights in the man basically that turns away from his wickedness, you know, and observes his laws, statutes, and commandments. It says, for why will ye die, O house of Israel? Therefore, thou Son of Man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgressions. So you could have done all of this good work, like we're gonna bring out in a short while, right? You could have done all of this good work, but the minute you do wickedness in the eyes of the Most High ain't gonna regard all of the good work that you've done in that day, because he doesn't regard that you know, you're doing wickedness where you really should know better. All right. It says, as for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby, in that he turneth away from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth. This is Luke 15:1. And it says, then drew near unto him all the publicans and the sinners, for to hear him, right? Because if you're gonna hear the Most High, then the Most High would have put that spirit within you, somewhere you can hear it, right? That's why the Pharisees and all the wicked, really the true wicked people of that particular era, which the Most High picked to not be the elect, those are people that wasn't understanding or perceiving the words that the Most High said, or the Lord said. It said, and the Pharisees and the scribes murmured, saying, this man receiveth sinners and eateth with them, right? Because Yahushua knew that those were going to be the elect. The elect was going to be set up as the lowest, and they were going to be magnified, really in the day of his return, right? Which is really upon us. And he said, and he spake this parable unto them, saying, what man of you having 100 sheep, if you lose one of them, doth not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the one which he lost and find it? Right? Now I'm going to jump onto actually the whole chapter is pretty good. I'll jump a little bit. Right, yeah, this is Luke 15:11. He said, and he said, a certain man had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of the goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto him his living. Right, so he basically asked for his inheritance. It says, and not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and he wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. So he had basically lost all that he had, but a famine came into the land. So he began to be in want again. Same thing right now, when we was in the world, we was in the state, everything's all right, right? But we came to that stage where we was in want, right, desiring this truth, because they was basically a famine of the word, and this, not a famine of the word, because that's coming later on, but you know, the famine, the death, the destruction is basically upon us. So we begun to be in want of a stability, and the stability only comes as through the truth, because knowledge and stability is going to be wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of these times, right? It says, and when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to the citizen of the country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, right? And no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, right, when he came to the realization, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? Right? I will arise and go to my father and say unto him, I have sinned against heaven, right, and before thee, and I am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of the hired servants. And he arose and came to his father, but when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto his father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight. I am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring hither the fattened calf, right? So basically they made merry, right? Which is basically, indicative of how the Lord sees us when we turn back, when we turn away from our iniquity and we come back to this truth, right? Now, this is Hebrews 6:6. Right, it says, if they fall away, so right, we did all of this rejoicing of these people coming, to this, coming back to this truth, spiritual rejoicing, right? But if these people, if certain individuals fall away like you've had in the past, right, to renew them again unto repentance, seeing that they crucified themselves to the Son of the Most High afresh and put him to an open shame. So they basically, the Lord has to basically go up on the cross again to basically renew you back onto repentance. And the Lord ain't gonna do that. Right? So you got one shot. Once you know this truth, you really got one shot, and really it goes deeper than that. It's all just down to election. Right? This is Luke 9:62. Right, it says, and Jesus and Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom. Right? So, when you get this truth, when you turn back unto the Lord, you're just gonna keep your head focused on this truth. Because once you put your hand to the plow, you can't be looking back, you can't be turning back thinking maybe, I should, do this or do that, in a worldly sense. Man, you just gotta go all out. Have faith in the Lord that He's gonna deliver you. Whatever situation you end up being in. Right? This is Revelations 2:25. Right? It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end. What's the works of the Lord? Coming out here week in, week out and telling these people to turn back from their iniquity. And also to stay away from your iniquity, so you can be part of what I'm about to say right here. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Right? It says, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. Right? And this is Romans 9 and Romans 9 from now and then a couple verses down. Right. I'll start at 14. This is Romans 9 and 14. It says, "What then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid. For Moses saith, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy." Right? So, like I said before, Most High is going to put it in certain ones of your spirits to get this truth, to get this wisdom, to get this knowledge and understanding, to turn back. But that's through His own mercy, His own election. Right? Set forth from the foundations of the earth. Right? And He says, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I have compassion. Right? So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. So we ain't out here by our own power. Right? We're here because the Most High set us up to be the watchmen of this people. Right? Telling you people, you got to get right before the Most High bring forth that big judgment. And that big judgment being those nuclear missiles, right, coming forth from these Middle Eastern countries to mainly America, but you know, all those are tied with it shall be, all those that are joined with her shall be destroyed in that day too. Right? This is Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Right? So all Israel's out there looking for all kind of, you know, basically looking for stability, because that's what it comes down to. Not looking for spiritual stability. Right? So they be all up into Islam, into Hinduism, and so on, and all, you know, like it says in Deuteronomy, they're gonna serve all kinds of gods, which neither thou or thy father had known. Some of these gods weren't about in those days. Right? So Israel hasn't obtained that which it looketh for, but the election have obtained it. Right? We obtained the name of the Lord, Yahushua, and the name of the Father, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? This is 2 Peter 1 and 10. Right. It says, wherefore, rather, brethren, give diligence to making your calling and election sure. For ye do these things, if you do these things, you shall not fall. Right? So you're going to give diligence to make your calling, right? Because many are called, but few are chosen. But so you're going to give diligence. You're going to be studying, looking into the, the different news streams and so on and so forth, to making your calling and election sure. All right. And the last precept is 2 Timothy 2 and 15. It says, study to show thyself approved, right? A good workman, neither not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Right, rightly divided. Going precept upon precept, going here, there a little, here a little, and there a little. Right, that I like to say double honest. To the elders as always, and honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Right, and all praise to Yahweh, Yahushua. Right, Shalom.